PSGL, George Morgan here and Jack Canat. All the lights are currently lit here on track, and it is go, go, go!
Contact between the Mercedes teammates.
Denoso with a crafty manoeuvre up the inside. Masterclass from the Chilean.
Crucial championship points on offer here.
Do not count out Danny Beresne.
Longe has done the job. This is for the win between these two.
Freddie Rasmussen wins the United States Grand Prix.
Alfie Butcher wins for the first time ever. Lucas Blakely takes the championship. It's Barry Foreman.
Jarno Opmeer is your champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to PSGL Season 38. It is round 10 on the F2 season, and we are here for Japan at the famous Suzuka circuit. The only figure-of-8 circuit on the calendar. And I'm, of course, Alex, also known as Deathlink, and I'm joined by the fabulous, the marvelous, the man's man, Tom Knight, also known as, they call me TK. TK, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing very well. Very much looking forward to coming back to PSGL after a lovely festive break. But, I mean, there's something about a Thursday evening that doesn't quite feel right without PSGL.
No, I certainly agree with you as well. And, I mean, it's been a while since we've been there. And also, we have another break just after this as well, unfortunately. So you're only going to get us for one Thursday. But, of course, then we have a triple header to round out season 38, but that is a few weeks away. We are now focused on this race currently, and of course we have a championship fight going on. We've got 16 drivers on track, TK, and the championship is very, very close indeed. As you want to switch back very quickly, as I already saw you swap there. So is the championship ready, or is that an old standard?
That is current standing. I thought you were going to go into the qualifying, but there we go. There are standings.
So Riccardo Benzoni, top of your standing, 79 points, and a only 3-point gap to Angelo Descencio, who is on 76 points, and then Luca on 63. So a little bit of a gap there, but not massive, TK. I mean, there is still a lot to play for in this championship.
Certainly is, and as you said, 3 races still to go in this season. Japan, USA and Bahrain to finish us off. It's going to be an exciting one to finish off the season. That double header is a lot of crucial points for our drivers to try and contend. But speaking of drivers, speaking of where we're about to head, let's check out the Suzuka Raceway, and of course 3.6 miles, 18 turns, what stands in front of our drivers, and just the singular DRS zone for them to have those overtaking opportunities. And I'm also being told quite a few bumps for them to endure.
Certainly is, but it's not just that they're enduring, TK. Of course, chat can't currently see this, but we are in qualifying at the moment, 15 minutes on the clock. And let's just say it's a bit damp here at Suzuka. We've seen it before, the typhoon weather that we get in Japan normally. Of course, I think we all go back to that old, what was it, the Kubica Massa battle. It wasn't actually at Suzuka, but Japan loves its wet weather.
It certainly does. It seems to be a bit of a historic tradition for it to rain in Suzuka, but alas, as you said, certainly is raining here this afternoon. Before anyone begs me for tyres, everybody on the intermediates, apart from 2 drivers running the full wets, considering just how much water is on that ground. You can see Sergio Sabrino here, first driver out to compete a lap. They're practically sliding through the opening S's.
Well, I mean, you can just listen to the way their throttle is working, TK. They are not using nearly full power here in this car. Obviously, there's a lot of power behind these Formula 1 cars. And they are taking it a little bit tiptoely around the circuit. Yes, tiptoely is a word. Look it up. It's in the English dictionary. As Sergio Sperino going for it here in this first sector. But you said, TK, there's a couple of drivers still on the full wet tyres. And a lot of drivers gone for inters. I think it's just because the full wet tyres are not a very good tyre to, well, do anything on, really.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. It's one of those that they're such a difficult tyre to heat up, especially in full wet conditions like we're kind of seeing at the moment. Sabrino really having to wrestle the car through the spoon curve down towards 130R. But the choice of intermediates, maybe they gain a couple of, no, they lose maybe a couple of tenths, but in the overall grip and handleability of the car, that's where our drivers will really want the edge.
Yeah, it certainly will be. As Sergio Sabrina is going to be the car to cross the line first and set the lap time they're all going to be chasing in his kick Sauber, of course, coming around the final corner. Where is Sergio Sabrina going to put his car? Well, it's going to be provisional pole, but it's going to be a 1:39.8, 1:39.2 already by Liam Stevens. We already had a prediction for prediction for pole in chat, by the way, on Jan. Going to take pole.
Well, currently outsetting a lap time. They're heading through the spoon curve at the moment with their Aston Martin teammate. Daniel, there's a 140.1. Sixten Lindhart, a 39.8. Next across the line, Leo Lund, a VA driver that did rather well last night in the team's championship, 138.9 for the V-Carb driver. And then Felipe Souza, slowest of the bunch at present, down in P7, immediately replaced by Luca Rapassa.
Certainly is. Gabriel Quintino managing to get himself back in. Jan now coming up towards the line. Someone predicted him for pole. Is he going to put it on provisional pole? It doesn't look like it so far. Only fifth fastest so far as Angelo Decenzio goes second fastest.
He does indeed. Mercedes managing to slug his way up towards the top of your timing screens at the moment. Lots of people still to set lap times in and around this grid. And obviously that early prediction for Jan to get pole position slightly falling short of early expectations as he finds himself down in P6. Slightly more work to do if he wants to try and gain the nearly 9/10 difference up to where Toppy has set the standard.
And of course, if this track is just going to get faster and faster, TK, it means that the drivers are just going to keep doing lap after lap after lap. They're not going to come in for a fresh set of tyres.
Well, yeah, in many regards, yes, they don't want to miss that peak optimal area of when the track is at its most grippy. And of course, you can see the dry line vaguely starting to form out of the spoon curve as we ride on board with Toppe. Just has one of the kick hours in front, I believe the V-car going flying by under these, of course, ghosted regulations here in PSGL that allows cars not to have to deal with too much slipstream, but they are making rather slow effort back to the pits in. No one's in a rush, are they?
No, I mean, it's one of those conditions where you don't really want to be in a rush because obviously you don't want to end up in a barrier. But as you mentioned, we are still in these ghosted conditions here in PSGL. It's a shame because, of course, it will require us to have a lobby restart. But I'm hopeful that we're going to get a good race as well. I don't know what the weather's going to be like for the race. It's going to be random as well. And Luca Rapassa, there in his Mercedes, goes 1:38.381, and that is provisional pole as it stands.
Absolutely is. Could have been maybe a banker lap on the first attempt, or maybe something went wrong in the final sector, but he has put his foot to the floor and found the fastest lap time by nearly 0.3 of a second, which over the course of this Japanese circuit is an incredible gap to start to form. Usually we're expecting to see all of these drivers in within a second of one another, but of course the wet weather lobby, that's where we're really starting to see the differences, quite literally separating the men from the boys.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I wonder how much this track has still got to improve, because the rain does look like it's slowing down, even just slightly. No drivers on the full wet tyres anymore. They are all sticking with their determined intermediates. I don't think we're going to see the dries, though, TK. It's not drying up that much.
It's certainly not. I mean, it's still heavy rain conditions here in Japan, and it would take an almost miracle to clear this up in 10 minutes. Don't completely count it out. I've seen it happen before here on the F124 game, but of course, if we're talking more about real life statistics, it doesn't go from this wet to that dry in 10 minutes.
No, it certainly does not. So yeah, obviously our early prediction for pole was for Jan. TK, I'm going to ask your early prediction for pole.
Oh, it's a tough one. Can I make a banker guess and just say one of the Veloce Academy drivers?
Yeah, I mean you've got a good set of drivers there to be correct or incorrect. So I'm gonna say you're pretty solid with that pick.
I mean, that's practically half the grid at the moment. Felipe Souza,
Well,
a
there's
VA
one of
driver, goes fastest, 1:38.1, setting the new standards. We approach the halfway mark here in qualifying. 3 purple sectors, according to the game's track map there. And then Angelo Decenzio immediately taking that away by 0.6 of a second. Alex, I think the track might be getting better.
Yes, I think it certainly is, TK. It looks like it's drying up quite a bit here at the Japanese Grand Prix with Angelo Descencio with a 1:37.583. Also, just want to apologise to anyone in chat. I do have a new microphone, which we're finding is being a bit temperamental at the moment. So if I'm changing volumes all the time, I do apologise.
Yeah, we'll work on the second year. It's one thing that's actually only popped up today. We didn't have it at all in the last couple of days as you've had it over Christmas. So
Yeah.
had to be a PSGL day, right?
Had to mess up on a PSGL day. I'm trying to lean closer in because I'm just watching that audio pop up and down on our second right screen. So I don't know how I sound. Let me know.
Well, we'll continue with our qualifying. 8 minutes and 7 seconds left on our clock. Sammy Simeone, P3 for the McLaren driver. Behind him, one of the kick Saubers, assumingly just starting a lap. That'll either be Sergio Sabrino or his teammate Daniel. And it is indeed Daniel. I always choose the wrong driver when I try and make a prediction like that. But of course, 2 VA drivers in the top 2, 4 of them in the top 5, and 5 of them in the top 7.
Yeah, I mean, your VA pick of pole position was a pretty good one, TK, I must say. Mostly because half the grid is VA drivers. But of course, they can be all VA drivers, but only one can be champion, TK, that's for sure.
Very much so, and I think as much as there's competition in and amongst this F2 grid, you want to beat your teammates, you want to beat kind of the esports organisation that you've signed to, and I think that may go back home quite personally, as Keanu Luntar goes second fastest with a 1:37.7, narrowly missing out on pole position.
We're used to Dan and Nathan having mic issues. You can just join the Funny Mic Club. There we go. Well,
the crazy thing is, you've got the same mic as I do.
Yeah, and it's being more temperamental. It must be me.
Yeah,
I must do something to every piece of equipment I ever pick up. Something goes wrong with it. But anyway, moving on from that. 6 minutes left in this session, and the track is, as you mentioned, TK, definitely improving because there's cars jumping all over the place at the moment. As I just say that, Liam Stevens puts himself on the front row and narrowly misses out on provisional pole.
Poppe is apparently going 1.8 seconds faster through the second sector.
Oh.
He does go 1.9 seconds faster to take the fastest lap at the moment, as well as provisional pole position once again by 9/10 of a second. What is this Williams on?
Daniel just went 2 seconds faster and only went 6th fastest.
Wow.
So I think the track is definitely Leo Lund 36.6. Well, we are on. Angelo has put on full wet tyres. Interestingly enough, that's not going to make him go faster. As who's just John third? Is that Jan? Jan's third.
Yeah.
37.1.
Trying to keep an eye as all of our drivers come across the line. I think lots of them starting to set probably their penultimate runs here, and I don't know what Angelo's banking on. Maybe deciding the full wets could be quicker, but I don't think we're seeing that kind of heavy rain. I think it has laid off slightly. It's not quite as heavy as it was. What was that, 13 minutes ago?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen full wet tyres ever be faster than intermediates on a drying track.
I've seen it, just not that often.
It's a rare occurrence. He has gone out on full wets. He has, legitimately.
Wow. This could be interesting. Sometimes the game will tell you that wets are quicker than intermediates, and I have a feeling that's just what's happened here.
Well. It's always interesting here on F2. You never know what's going to happen.
Certainly don't. We don't know what's going to happen half the time, and we're trying to commentate it.
Exactly, and it makes it really difficult to commentate something you don't know what's going on.
Very much so. Gabriel Quintino, first timed lap on the board, should I say, jumped him up to P3. So good drive from 16th to 3rd at the moment. But now we're going to see those final runs, those final attempts. I'm really anxious to watch on board with Angelo. I say that as his teammate does go fastest, 136.177 for the Veloce Academy.
That's quite the lap time. It's 5/10 faster than Leo Lund. It puts him on pole position as it stands. Provisional pole. And Angelo's just sliding on these full wet tyres. I really am not sure what his game plan is here. Obviously, he's an F2 driver. He's one step away from the top tier of F1 esports. So I don't know if I should judge him or I should just think he's made the right decision.
My only assumption here is he's trying to clear the track for a final run, kick some more water up, but I don't know if that would be any benefit in an esports race.
Yeah, he's coming into the pits, so he's going for inns on the last run. So he just wanted to get a feel of the track on full wet.
Yeah, maybe. I think with people improving, maybe he just wanted that extra, maybe minute or two, just feel how the track feels and then, you know, go again.
You know what? I'm not here to judge our drivers on how they decide to do a qualifying session. You know, it's up to them.
Well, very much so. Keeping an eye, though, on Sixten Lundhart, who's pretty much matching his best time through the second sector, not looking to improve. So unless something went majorly wrong in the third, I can't see him improving that much.
And Leonardo goes 6th fastest there, 37.1. Good lap time for him.
The only other drivers out on track, Felipe Sousa going 0.7 of a second quicker than his previous best. Probably won't be enough to try and challenge pole position again unless something went wrong.
He's 1.2 seconds faster in the middle sector.
Well, maybe I could be eating my words here.
Unless he's going to come in. I think the smart thing would be come to pits and get a new set of tyres and go again. But he's going for the finished lap.
What's he going to do? It's P3.
Oh,
Okay.
1/1000th between himself and his teammate.
Purple middle sector for Benzoni, though. Keep an eye on him. He's 1.7 seconds up on his pace. This track is improving hand over fist.
It certainly is. I mean, it is a track that is known for its track evolution, and he does go second fastest, 1:36.431. He will get one more lap in if he has enough fuel, which he does, 2.6 laps of fuel left. He's got enough to go again.
So now he's going to coast around the track, burn up that fuel, and then go again for one final run. Of course, he'll be at a slight deficit of tyres, but of course, wet conditions, they're not overly as picky or as detrimental after 1 or 2 laps.
No, they are certainly not. So, 2 minutes left. Get your predictions for pole position in chat right now. We want to see what you are saying. Get involved in the conversation. TK, your prediction is a Veloce Academy driver, but I'm going to have to push you for one answer.
Oof. I was hoping to be able to stick with just VA. Leo Lund. That's my prediction for pole position.
My prediction for pole position, I'm going to go Angelo D'Asensio.
Driver down at P10 at the moment. I'll say considerably off the pace, but only, a second, 1.4 seconds off the pace?
Last one to cross the start-finish line will get pole position, I think, here, TK. You can see that rain. It is eased up dramatically since just a minute ago. I mean, we're going to be almost running on a dry track almost.
And that, I believe, will be the F3 driver of Leonardo Tonelata?
Leonardo Tonelletto.
Toneletta.
You have to put an accent on it.
Tonelletto.
You got to put an accent on
No,
it.
I'm not doing it. He has got purple middle sector.
It's Leonardo Tonelletto.
So this says to me that Leonardo's on a lap as opposed to on an out lap, which everybody else is. So we're now to recalculate who's going to be last across the line.
Well, he could still do another lap.
It will be Sixten.
It's going to be, Sixten Lundhart. Of course, our F3 champion of last year.
Yes.
Let us not forget, he won a 4-way title fight. Oh, Leonardo. He's gone wide.
Wow, will he back off? Oh, yeah, he's gone wide out of Spoon. Second corner as well.
Oh, he might get to the line.
He's burning battery. He's still got to go for this.
Faster in the middle. Yeah, he doesn't think he's going to make the line. He would as well. He would make the line if he's backed off.
Sixten's cutting it very close to get to the line here as well.
Sixten, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, he just made it with 2 seconds to go.
Wow.
Leonardo, even with that mistake, went 6th fastest. The track is hugely improving, TK. This could be anyone's pole position.
Yeah, Sixten has the opportunity to be last across the line, but keep an eye on everybody else as they develop. First across the line will be Felipe Sousa, not improving in the first sector. What can they do as they head out Spoon Curve in towards the second timing split? If they're up on their time, not improving, then I think it could be lights, camera, action for Felipe Sousa.
Certainly could. The flag is out. These are the last laps that will count. Sixten Lundhart 6/10 up in the first sector on his last lap of qualifying, but I'm sure there's a lot of other drivers that have got that. So Sousa will be the first to cross the line, as you mentioned, in his RB. Currently sits on the second row of the grid in 4th place. Can he improve from that position? He can put it to third, but I'm sure that might come tumbling down in a few moments' time. Riccardo Benzoni will be the next one to cross the line, followed by Leo Lund. Riccardo Benzoni round the final sector now into the triangle. Daniel actually goes second fastest. Liam Stevens goes on provisional pole. I didn't see those guys doing those laps. That's on me. Riccardo Benzoni, can he ruin the fun? Can he put his Haas car on the front row? He can put it on the front row, but not pole. Leo Lund goes provisional pole as it stands, but then Luca Rapata, then Tope takes that position. There's so many cars left to go. The track is lit up in the last few sections of this qualifying. Can anyone find the lap? Angelo couldn't. Gabriel Quintoni couldn't. Can Sixten Linhart? He goes only 8th. Only Leonardo's left, but he's not improving. And means Tope is on pole position.
Is indeed. Stole it. Well, Top A on top, I think, is a story we've seen one too many times over the course of the season. Fantastic qualifying driver that he is. And, of course, will lead our 16 drivers in towards the Japanese Grand Prix in a short few moments. Luca Rapasa, Gabriel Quintino, Angelo D'Ortenzio, Leo Lund, Jan, Liam Stevens, Sixten Lundart, Keanu Lutart, and Sergio Sobrino rounding out your top 10. And then Sammy Simeone, Danny Van Hoyten, Riccardo Benzoni, Daniel, Felipe Souza, and Leonardo Tonatello. I probably got that wrong again. Rounding out your top 16, Alex.
It's a V8 5.
2 through 5, yeah. Luca Rapasa, Gabriel Quintino,
Yeah.
Angelo, and Leo Lund. 2 through 5. Incredible results for the VA drivers.
By the way, if you wonder how I'm leaning forward, it's because my mic is here. So I'm trying to lean into it to get it to...
It doesn't make it any better. You're still really low.
I've tried turning this up. It automatically turns it back down when I'm too loud. And I don't know what's causing it.
Well, you know what's not causing it, Alex?
Now, TK, we need to talk about this. Because I watched the stream back over Christmas.
Yes.
And you promised me that you didn't switch to the GT Omega ad when I was going to say the ad, alright?
Yeah.
But it looked like it switched when I was about to say it. So
Must have been a
all I'm
glitch in the
asking-
platform. Sorry.
well, I'm hoping it is.
Yeah.
So all I'm asking is that you don't do that. That doesn't happen again.
I will try my best. I can't
Okay,
account for
right.
anything that happens on Twitch or YouTube, but from my
course.
side, I will try my best.
Of course. Well, ladies and gentlemen, of course, PSGL, as always, is sponsored by... GTI Omega. So yeah, that was. Hopefully that will go through this time. It sounded like it did.
I
heard it.
think it went through perfectly. This
So,
show's
yeah,
not pre-recorded and cut, is it?
No, it's not. It's
No.
fine. So TK, entertain the crew while I look up some interesting Google facts.
Well, you know what we can do. We can go back and have a look at the standings and how that qualifying session could help predetermine them. Top 8, of course, sits down in P6 after an underwhelming performance last time in Saudi Arabia. Excuse me, 17th place finish for the driver of the Williams. Of course, his teammate down, trying to do my math, sorry, above him, Nelson Alves, up in P4 after some good performances, but, well, unironically, not here this afternoon. Of course, Riccardo Benzoni still holds the top spot after a 7th place finish, along with pole position in Saudi Arabia. Angelo D'Ortenzio, Luca Rapasa are your top 3, and then down at the bottom, well, the driver at the bottom with a full-time seat, Gabriel Quintino and Camille Stachara, are your bottom 2, the Red Bull and the Ferrari, well, together.
Very nice. Sorry, I was reading. Sorry. I found it.
He's found the button, everybody, that stopped his
found the
mic
button.
automatically lowering itself.
Right, testing. 1 2 1
That is
2.
very loud.
Testing. 1 2 1
Still
2.
very loud.
Testing 1 2 1 2.
That's much better.
Hey!
Where was the setting?
It was wave gain lock,
Ah, yes, it's that one.
and it wasn't clicked on.
Well, it's working now. So
It's
everybody
now
can hear you clearly.
clicked on.
Maybe just one more click down if you would mind, sir.
1 2 1 2.
Yeah, that'll do.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.
Maybe one up again.
Hello?
Yeah, that'll do. I can.
There we go.
I can do this.
You can always turn me down, so that's fine.
Yeah, I mean this is why you have pre-flight checks, everybody, and also welcome back to the PSGL podcast if you are just tuning in. This is Thursday afternoon. The time is currently 27 minutes past 8 UK time, and we've got about 3 or 4 minutes to chat about absolutely anything.
Yeah, we can talk about absolutely anything we want to. So why don't we discuss the weather? It's been cold in the UK, hasn't it?
It has. We haven't had any snow down here.
Have you not?
No, we're too close to the coast.
Yeah, that's the issue. I mean, I'm surprised the coast doesn't like freeze over.
I think it's because there's too much movement of the water. It can't freeze.
Yeah.
I'm not a physicist. Don't fact check me on that, but I'm fairly certain it's that.
Citation needed, I think.
Yeah, citation definitely needed.
Would you like to see the Lego minifigure version of me I have on my desk?
Go on then.
It's attached to a picture of me and my partner, along with their minifigure that they made.
Okay.
But it's me.
Very nice. What are you holding in your hand?
Scissors.
I thought that was hair straighteners for a minute.
No, I don't need hair straighteners. You won't believe this, but this hair comes naturally.
Okay, if you say so. I would say there's nothing new on my desk because I spilt Pepsi Max all over it about an hour before we went to stream.
Really?
I genuinely did. I had a full pint glass of like 3/4 of it spilled over my desk. Almost went into the cable management tray with all my plug sockets.
Ooh.
Could have been, I have never turned wall sockets off so quickly to stop something blowing up.
TK leaped across his bedroom to turn the power off. I would have liked to see that scene. That would have been quite entertaining. Yeah, if you're wondering, this is literally, we talk about you don't get this on any other PSGL broadcast. This is exclusive to people that watch F2.
And don't forget, you can submit your topics for not next week's, the week after's podcast at PSGL F2 at psgl.com.
Yeah.
Not a really.
Or write to us at
PO Box F2.
PO Box F2 Connor Estate PSGL.
Bedhamptonshire.
Yes. Just exposing Connor.
Apart from Bedhamptonshire is not a real place.
Shh, don't let them know that.
I'm sure they're all
meant to be
very
a
smart
surprise.
individuals and can Google.
What? Sorry, what's Google? I only use Bing, sir. I don't use Google.
Oh, with that attitude, I'm not surprised. But I can confirm, ladies and gentlemen, the wait is over. You can come back to your viewing boxes, and we're ready almost to go racing. We're going to go to Alex's, and I hate to say this, his favourite ever scene that exists on this show.
It's 2cam plus game.
It is 2cam
yes.
plus game. As we do
good.
load into the session, and
We've got to make it a new thing.
How do we make it? How do we make it a new thing?
When F1 Esports, when it starts up soon, we go into that chat and everyone spam 2cam plus 2cam plus game, and Morgan will say it, and we'll get it over.
He's not commentating it.
Damn it!
It's Alex Jacks.
Alex Jacks.
Yeah.
You mean Jakes?
It's the same thing.
Right. I know Alex Jakes personally. I'll ask him to do it. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
I've got him on speed dial.
I'm sure you have. You're part of the Alex fan club, I believe.
I am. Every Alex has every other Alex on speed dial.
Yeah. It's just the way the world works.
Yeah. Not many TKs on speed dial though. Oddly.
Quite a few Toms though.
Yeah, Tom's also a pretty common name.
There is someone else in the F1 community that tries to be called TK. I hope they feel second best every time.
They should do.
They're an engineer. Like, I've never met them. I'm sure they're a lovely person.
Yeah. But there's only one TK.
There is only one T.
And he's up above me right now.
Yes. Right, let's go across to the race. It's looking rather overcast as things stand. I honestly can't remember if we have a formation up here. I think we don't.
I think we don't as well. And we don't because the lights are coming on here for the Japanese Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go for the Japanese Grand Prix. And it's a good start from Tope as he goes into the lead, keeps the lead off the line. Luca Rapassa in behind. Gabriel Quintino is battling with Angelo Descencio. Leo Lund trying to dance around the outside, going into the S section of Japan, but Angelo holds on, and it's Tope, Luca Rapassa, Gabriel Quintino, Angelo Descencio, and Leo Lund. We've got a battle towards the back with Riccardo Benzoni and Daniel battling for positions as Daniel goes round the outside of Leonardo Tonelito. I'm going to say Leonardo from now on, I think, as everyone has made it through the first couple of corners.
They have indeed in towards the lovely sleek little right-hander that we have here in Japan up towards the hairpin bend. This is a good opportunity for a late move on the brakes, but everybody staying in formation at present. The V-carb of Leo Lund thought about a move, but he was a day late and a dollar short on that one as Sammy Simeone gets past his teammate Danny. And I think it's alternating tyre strategies at the moment, and let's pull them up on the screen.
Looks to be a set of hards and mediums for the grid. The top I believe the top 5 on hards, and then 6th down to 8 on the medium tyres. And then for the rest of the grid are on hards. We have a move going on as Jan looks to go into 130R to go for the overtake. Of course, Jan knew Leo Lund would lift off because he's got a wife and 2 kids at home. As he does, Jan goes around the outside of the triangle but can't make it stick.
He thought about it. He was going to go around the outside. The inside then came back to Leo Lund and handed it to his favour. And as we cross the line, top 8 who leads this race sets the fastest lap. But look at this further back. They are almost 3 wide. Both McLarens and Riccardo Benzoni getting involved in this battle. And Riccardo Benzoni tries to send one down the inside of Sammy Simeone. Round the outside, the McLaren has to weave. And so far just holds on to that position.
Riccardo Benzoni couldn't make it work. Sammy doing a great job here. Well, I think it's his debut, as you mentioned, TK, earlier. So it's his first race here in F2 this season?
I believe so. I believe usually an F3 driver.
Well, he's certainly putting on a show against one of the, one of F2's finest in Riccardo Benzoni.
Well, of course, up towards the top of the standings at the moment. They've had some fantastic races at the start of this season as we watch Liam Stevens go down the inside of Leo Lund, really making those medium tyres work to his advantage. We head up towards Spoon Curve. I think Leo Lund will not let that slide for long.
Yeah, I mean, it's an audacious place to make an overtake, but we've seen so many times over the years that you can actually have your race end in that corner. I mean, just thinking about to this time, this year, obviously, well, last year now with Sergio Perez, I believe, ending a couple of races there. It's just not the best place to make a move, but if you make it, it is beautiful. We're going to have an overtake into 130R, and Jan is going to go down the inside of Leo Lund, and there is nothing Leo can do to defend it. And this time, Jan makes his dream move into 130R.
Certainly does. He had early predictions to get pole position here this afternoon, but making comebacks after a poor qualifying performance. Liam Stevens takes the fastest lap away from Tope down in turn number 1, and not only that, Luca Rapassa is going to take the lead away from Tope as well. Beautiful move around the outside of turn number 1. Make sure that Mercedes car is now leading this pack, lap 3 of 27.
Certainly does. Of course, we're already on lap 3. It is a fast-flowing circuit here in Japan, and I expect us to be through and done without any safety cars very quickly, but these guys are flying across, and you can see that, I think that TK, I don't know if you can see this, but going up to that corner we were just riding on board with, there seems to be a lot of rear end movement. I wonder if there's a lot of wind affecting the drivers there, and I wonder if those hard tyres are not as warm as we think in this overcast conditions.
I think you could be right, maybe not getting up to temperature quite as quick as they would have. Like down the inside, Liam Stevens later on the brakes. Oh my goodness. Nobody saw that coming. I don't think Angelo Tenzio saw that coming. And they're still wheel to wheel as we head through the hairpin up towards Spoon Curve. But the inside line pays favour to Liam Stevens. That is wham bam, thank you ma'am, P4 for the TES driver.
I mean, Liam Stevens, take a bow, my son. That is a move and a half. You don't see, well, you don't catch out Angelo in that kind of corner. You've got to wake up very early to do that. Jan, 130R again. Well, we found these two's favourite overtaking spots. 130R for Jan, and Liam loves a dive bomb into the hairpin. Well, are we going to see these two climb through the field? They are on the medium tyres. This is kind of what I expected, TK, but they are flying through these hard runners.
They certainly are indeed. Luca Rapassa still setting the fastest lap, though, on the harder tyre, and that could be working out in his favour. Tope takes away the race lead in towards turn number 1. An exact repeat of what we saw. Liam Stevens once again going for it into turn number 1. The inside line paying dividends to the Alpine driver, and that's now a podium position. All eyes, though, remain on himself and Jan, who have shown their favourite overtaking opportunities over the course of this track. And if history is going to be repeated once again, watch out at the hairpin.
I mean, Liam's way too far back to think of it and move on Luca, surely into the hairpin this time. I mean, it was bold on Angelo. He won't get Luca from here. I think he's a bit too far back on this occasion. Maybe don't count out Jan, though, if he's going to go for it. No, he's not going to go for it. A little bit too far back on this occasion. So are we going to see him move into 130R once again for the Aston Martin driver as he looks to get past the Red Bull of Gabriel Quintino, who is, well, struggling on these hards. I wonder, as we mentioned, we saw this in Silverstone, if you remember, TK. The overcast conditions really made the hard tyres a really annoying tyre to warm up.
They did. They did pay dividends at the end, though. They were able to take them a little bit longer, which really helped in the long run. They were able to extend their tyre life because they weren't burning the rubber. They weren't overstressing the wheel rim. That's what actually might have paid off. So they won't have as much control. They will be able to go longer.
Yeah, they certainly will. Oh, a little bit of a tap there, I think, on the back of Gabriel Contino from Jan as looks like Liam Stevens has set the fastest lap of the race. He's got the double slipstream DRS. Look at the speed. That Alpine is approaching. He's going to go down the inside of Tope. Tope is going to get run out of road, and he's surely got to back out of it. He certainly does. Mr. Liam Stevens, take a bow. You're up into second place. Only one more position, and you're on the top step of the podium.
Don't forget, though, he's the front-running medium runner. Luca Rapassa, Tope, both of them using the hard tyre, wanting to go long, so they're almost forcing Liam Stevens into these early moves, burning up as much of that medium rubber as they possibly can afford to let him use. And of course, later in the Grand Prix, that will be handed back to Luca and Tope when they get the softer rubber and able to go that little bit longer as well, maybe even some softs till the end.
It certainly will, but I think Liam is playing a very smart game here. He has clearly got some pace this afternoon. It's not just those medium tyres. I mean, he's flying through this grid. I think you're right, the hards will come back at him, but it depends, you know, if he's leading the pack, TK, he can control the pace of this Grand Prix, and then it's up to him what goes on from there.
Absolutely right. We saw that, well, we've seen that many times over the course of the calendar so far. If you want to be in front, you can be in control of what happens to the pack. Keep an eye on Jan here. His favourite overtaking move is lining itself up towards the inside line of 130R. He gets the move done before the corner even came into contention, and that is P4 for Jan in the beautiful Aston Martin.
Certainly is. He's back behind Tope. And now Liam Stevens, is he going to get a chance to close in on Luca Rapassa? Jan now with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. He is coming back at the cars. And here is Liam Stevens. Is he going to go for it? No. He's just wanting to close in a little bit more. Now, it looks like there's a bit of sun coming out in that first corner, TK. Just a little bit of it popping through the clouds, but I think it's still remaining overcast. I don't believe there's any rain at the moment.
Doesn't look like it at the moment. I'm sure our drivers would have let us know. Maybe even one of the engineers would have let us know should rain be on the horizon. They'll all know. They'll all see what's happening on that radar, and they will have prepared for it. Could have explained why some drivers gone hard, some have gone mediums, if we're expecting rain towards the end of the race. But then again, natural strategy would be the one-stop round here in Japan.
Yeah, it certainly would. You don't tend to see two stops anyway, even if the natural stop is a two-stop, because the hard tyres just go such a long distance. They are not a fast tyre, but are they a durable tyre? I mean, they'll get you to the end of a Grand Prix. I mean, we saw someone did a whole race at Qatar on one set of tyres this year.
They certainly did. Well, Jan's favourite corner coming back at him here. He gets such a good run out of Spoon Curve. That is what sets him up for the move here into 130R. I'm not sure if he's going to be close enough to send one down the inside of Tope, but don't rule it out of the Aston Martin. Tope looks to the inside line of Liam Stevens, though, so I think Jan will have to watch his favourite move being played on him. They're going 2 by 2 in towards the Casio triangle. This is incredible stuff, as Liam Stevens just manages to pip out P2 and will have DRS down towards turn number 1.
And don't count out Jan as well. He's going to get not 1, not 2, but 3 sets of slipstream. It's going to be maybe 4 wide into the first corner. Go around the outside, goes the Williams. And I think bravely Jan backed out of that because he did not know how that was going to end up. But somehow they've all come out facing the right direction.
Well, I think that's brave and smart defending there from Jan. He wanted to protect what he already had. He could have made that 3 wide, potentially go for the contentious move, but of course it could have all been undone in one little wheel tap, especially into turn 1. You've seen how some cars can go flying into the barriers at the slightest bit of contact there. I think that's smart racing from Jan.
Yeah, I think it certainly is. I mean, he knows he's got to be a little bit cautious. He does want to get a little bit of front wing damage, or even worse, could be out of the Grand Prix itself. So, yes, smart move by him. But as you mentioned, Liam Stevens is now leading this Grand Prix. He's controlling the paces. Angelo has, I think, just made a move round the outside, or has he defended Sixton there on the inside?
I think that's a move around the inside of, around the outside rather, of the hairpin turn.
Well, I wish we had seen that, because that would have been a beauty of a move. Angelo, he does take a little bit of time to build himself into a race, doesn't he? But when he gets there, he is locked in.
He certainly does indeed. Once he's in that flow, in that zone, nothing can stop him. Lucas Rapassa tries again down the inside of 130R, once again unsuccessful as Top 8 tries to defend from him. Jan thought about a move down the inside, but once again backs out. There's some smart racing going on now. They're focused on the checkered flag, not necessarily just the extra position. And what are we going to see into turn 1 here, Alex?
Well, we're going to see, I think, a little bit of DRS chicken. Don't think any overtakes going on. As you mentioned, TK Smart Racing. And as I've got a quote on my desk here by one Manuel Fangio, in order to finish first you must finish.
Is that Fangio or is that Schumacher?
Well, it says Fangio on here.
I'm sure it's a Schumacher in the game for that quote, but hey-ho. Maybe both of them said it.
Nope, I'm not going to argue with Fangio, all right?
No, me neither.
So, but yeah, the smart racing going on, TK, as you mentioned. I mean, they know they can't afford to get a little bit of front wing damage. And Angelo's a bit closer here to Gabriel Quintino. Maybe he wants to repay the favour of diving down the inside. He's been caught here napping a few times. Doesn't want to be caught again.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I thought I saw a move there from Sixton Linthart trying to send one down the inside or trying to defend the position from Leo Lund. Either way, not majorly successful if he was attacking. Successful if he was defending, but the battle up front is the one that we're still keeping an eye on as we run down towards 130R again. Luca Rapassa, this time much closer to the rear of Toppe. Is he going to look for the inside? Toppe keeping the car slightly more centred this time, not going to allow an opportunity to the inside line, but I think for a moment Luca Rapassa thought for the outside line, but backed out of it sensibly. Is going to sit in this DRS train and try and challenge Liam Stevens and Toppe down towards turn number 1.
Oh my god, I winced slightly there when Luca Rapassa thought about switching it to the outside, but I think bravely he decided to stick to his line, and it looks like Luca Rapassa's going to stick behind, or is he? Because Toppe thought about it but didn't go for it, and it almost caused a little bit of a little bit of an effect behind, causing Luca to slam on the brakes and Jan to slam on the brakes as well. I mean, it's very close quarters, but no contact made really, or any meaningful contact made.
Yeah, very sensible racing, albeit caught out ever so slightly by the Williams, breaking in a defensive move from Liam Stevens. The front four still continuing through, because it is unright of us to mention that the front 12 are all within about half a second of one another.
Which is absolutely mental if you think about it, really. I mean, this track is, well, it's an important track to stay within DRS, but it's also an important track to stay within Slipstream, and everyone is doing that job correctly. And even, you say about, well, within that second TK, but Leonardo's not exactly too far behind.
No, not at all. Only 1.3, certainly manageable, because of obviously there's only one DRS straight on this circuit. They don't get enough opportunities to open the window. And speaking about opening the window, Luca Rapassa to the inside now before 130R comes into fruition. He's upside, he's alongside rather, and ahead as we head in towards the Casio Triangle. Side-by-side racing in towards the Casio Triangle. Toppe's later on the brakes though, and Luca Rapassa still has to settle for P3. Surely he's going to be getting somewhat annoyed and angry having to stay behind that Williams.
And Sixto Linhart's in the pit, and he's got 10 seconds. One of the time penalties. That early pit stop's not worked. 3 wide, it's the first corner, and somehow they've all made it through as Toppe and Luca Rapassa retake their first and second. But I think Sixto went for a very early undercut, TK, which of course, if you don't know what the undercut is you pit before your rivals, and then you try and get in front of the rest of the cars. But he's got a 10-second time penalty pay for it. I think a little bit of disconnection problems there for Lucas just dropped him down to 4th place, but we carry on.
Yeah, Luca Rapassa there, I think, suffering with well, heating, whatever you want to call it, has dropped down to P4. That is going to be infuriation in that cockpit. He was doing so well up in P2, managed to overtake in towards turn number 1, and all that hard work has just been reset.
And I mean, that is news to Tope, because he has actually almost broken DRS of Liam Stevens, TK. These medium tyres may be starting to struggle, because Sixton, that was a very early pit stop, 10 laps only on those mediums, and already went for the hard tyre.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And of course, he tried to be a little bit too eager into the pit lane. Sometimes those extra tenths of a second will really help you in the race scenario. But of course, getting 10 seconds worth of penalties, again, undoes all of that work unless we see a safety car.
As Mr. Gareth Allen just said, Tope the leaderboard. He certainly is.
Tope the leaderboard, Tope the timing screen. This is what we love to see.
We love to see. And are we going to see any of the medium runs in? We are. Liam Stevens and Jan both into the pits. Those mediums. Oh my goodness me, Jan. Sorry, not Jan. Liam. He was Tokyo drifting into the pit lane to stop there, but he didn't get himself a penalty. So almost did exactly what his teammate did.
Might have been Tokyo drifting, but he's managed to get it stopped. So many people still deciding to stay out, though, not wanting to risk the undercut, not wanting to get out of DRS range. And the one I'm going to keep an eye on is Sixton Lintart. Of course, he went in so much earlier, and I think will emerge ahead of the front, or just behind the front two that pitted in early.
Which proves how powerful that undercut is going to be, TK.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Liam may be kicking himself a bit, because with that time penalty, he's going to be really struggling to clear the gap. Unless a safety car comes out, he's got 10 seconds added to his race time at the end. Now, when do we expect these hard runners into? Probably not until lap, 20?
I'd say around lap 15, maybe lap 20, around that sort of margin, over half race distance for sure. But of course, if drivers are already heading in, the expected would be around lap 11, lap 12. So I reckon 15, 16, 17. That's my delta here.
Your delta. It's going to be very interesting to see how those undercuts work out, but I'm very curious indeed. We saw an undercut very powerfully done at Qatar. Are we going to see a Riccardo Benzoni down the inside into 130? We certainly are. A Haas car into 7th place. He's on a bit of a recovery drive after a pretty poor qualifying, you must say. He's now moving up through the places.
Certainly is indeed, as is Angelo Defensio, really starting to make moves here, left, right and centre. He's lined another one up here on Gabriel Quintino in towards turn 1. Is he going to get the double jump on his teammate as well? Down the inside, turn number 1, through goes Angelo Defensio, or does he? Luca Rapassa swings it around the outside. There's contact. The two teammates collide.
Oh, and I think they just collided. Maybe a little bit of a touch. Angelo got beached on the curb because his teammate was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to give you any more racing room there. Well, that was a bit close for comfort there, TK, between the two Mercs.
Toto Wolff had already ordered a replacement set of headphones, maybe a replacement door as well if he was good for Steiner. But at the moment, VA2, 3, 4, 5, like we saw in qualifying in many aspects, they're looking on a fairly good run, but they won't be hoping to take each other out. I think there'll be a few sour words in the boardroom afterwards.
Yeah, they really don't want to be doing that. Now the sun looks like it's coming more out here, TK. These hard tyres are going to be enjoying that a lot more. Oh, very aggressive defence there by Gabriel Quintino. Leo Lund tried to go down the inside, couldn't find the move to stick. Now, these curbs are becoming a lot more aggressive as the race goes on. I'm surprised at how aggressive they have been on the curbs.
Yeah, I think drivers willing to take more risks as we get into this stage of the race. They know pit stops are coming, and they'll have to try and adjust to that accordingly. The one thing I'm asking here, and this mainly applies to the McLaren and the Mercedes cars, of course, once unified, now split. Who goes in first? Who's going to have to take an extra lap under the pits because they're so close together?
Surely the leader of the two cars gets the agreed upon position, as Luca Rapassa has very aggressively defended the inside. So aggressively, Gabriel Quintino had to back off, which allowed Leo Lund to get through. I wonder if Angelo is not being allowed past his teammate here, TK.
Well, that's certainly what it's sounding like. Maybe Luca Rapassa wants the choice of pitting in first, doesn't want to have to extend on that extra lap, knowing how powerful the undercut has been. But then again, Angelo could decide to go one lap earlier if his teammate doesn't want to take that gamble. There are options for the driver that finds himself second in their team order. There's no hope lost for Angelo and or Sammy Simeone down in P10. Of course, his teammate Danny up in P9, just one place ahead.
And you've got to think as well, of course, they are in the same livery car, TK, but there's not really a team championship going on. There is no obligation for Luca to move out of the way for Angelo. They're both battling for a championship. it's up to the drivers to sort this out on track. There is no team orders down at any of the teams this afternoon.
Absolutely right. It's each driver for themselves. No team championship, no constructors championship for them to worry about. So I think, as you said, yeah, Luca Rapassa watching for his own back and maybe not his teammates.
Yep, and I mean, with that 1.4 gap to Tope, there is no need to catch him right now. At the moment, he's just sort of bedding into the Grand Prix now. Are we going to see Angelo go for this move on this occasion? We're on lap 14 of 27 as Sergio Sobrino is in. The first of the hard tyre runners has pitted, TK.
Indeed, I think we all know what tyres they're going to be going on till the end. I can't see softs being lined up this early in the race, and it is indeed mediums going on to that kickstart. But the question will be now, where does Jan, Liam Stevens, and Sixten Linthart appear as they, well, one of them, Jan, sets the fastest lap on the centre hards, easily clear of Sergio Sobrino.
Miles clear of them. I think it's going to be about 2 seconds.
If not a little bit more, 3.5, nearly 4.
Wait, 4. It's going to be 4 seconds clear, almost, from those runners. And these three, well, they're TES drivers, TK. We say there's no team championships, but there's definitely esports teams that would like to get their drivers further up the grid.
Well, now it's 5 out of the top 6 all VA drivers. None of them appear to be letting each other pass, but they are kind of working together. They're sharing that DRS. They're allowing each car to sit in the slipstream. But Luca Rapassa is the conductor in all of this. He's not letting anyone past him, and all it's doing is allowing top 8 to make an even greater break for freedom. 1.7 seconds, now 1.8 seconds, almost 1.9 seconds as we head down towards 130R.
Certainly is. Had a top 8 gap. Top 8 gaps because we had a little bit of a
desync moment.
A desync moment, yes. So Luca was right behind him when the desync happened. Riccardo Benzoni's in the pits. I think all these drivers are starting to realise that they need to start pitting soon or they're going to get undercut very, very quickly. As Angelo takes second place, Leo Lund takes third, Luca Rapassa down to fourth. So it is now down to the pit crews and medium tyres are going on for them. Where are Liam Stevens going to come out relative to these drivers? They are setting fastest laps after fastest laps, TK. And once again, it's going to be child's play to get past them. And I think even Sergio Sobrino might get past them as well, and he does.
Yeah, he does, and that's going to be an interesting one. He's on the medium tyres. Look how much time he's already taken out of the drivers in front of him. I reckon that's about half a second in one lap. Of course, that will kind of graduate and slowly wear down as the tyres kind of bed in and wear in. But of course, he is incredibly quicker over one lap, almost a second taken off that 4 seconds that it was when he exited the pit lane.
Yeah, it certainly will be. It's going to be tight once again. And I'm sure we're going to see the rest of the top 10. Oh, the Sixten Linthart. That was a bit close. You weren't watching it at the time, but Linthart under the bridge, TK, almost lost the rear end and slammed into the wall on the right-hand side, but just held it. But those hards already seem to be struggling for grip.
Certainly do indeed. Maybe that's not quite warming up yet here around this circuit. I think everybody hasn't fully got this track under control. Of course, the cloudy cover is what's affecting a lot of people's drives, and we'll keep an eye on who comes into the pits now. Lap 15 and 27, where I said quite a few would come in. Dortenzio's in, Quintino, Lutart, Ruiten in, and Sousa in as well. Nathan, no.
He's just saying that to be annoying.
Of course you can have tyres.
They're on hards and mediums, amazingly so. Well, Angelo was in. Where is Liam Stevens and Jan going to come out in relative to the man? Well, obviously they're going to be in front of him. And I think they're going to be behind Riccardo Benzoni as well. As the undercut, once again, proves the strongest here in PSGL. As Angelo comes out, he finds himself in 10th.
He does indeed, but of course they're on the fresher tyre, they're on the lower fuel load now on those tyres. They'll be able to make more advantage out of them as we progress through this Grand Prix. We approach 11 laps to go, and of course you can quite evidently see who is yet to pit. The front 5 are only 14 seconds clear of Liam Stevens that has pit already. So front 4 actually that are yet to pit.
Front 4 yet to pit, but look at that gap between Riccardo and Sixten. It's closing in quickly, TK.
Certainly is indeed. That is just the new tyres starting to wear in, starting to grip in as well as we head over the course of this Grand Prix. I think it will be maybe 1 or 2 laps until we see Riccardo Benzoni on the back of Sixten, but Sixten with that penalty.
Luca's around the outside of 130R. He's trying to make it stick on Leo Lund, but Leo Lund did not give him the racing room and into the Casio triangle. Leo just holds on to that position, and surely they're both into the pits now. Oh my goodness me. You did not see what I saw, TK. Luca Rapassa was on the grass going around the outside of 130R.
Wow, incredible stuff, managing to hold that position. Now pit stops will come into it, and Liam Stevens will retake his position as effective race leader. He'll come around the final corner, and I think quite easily past the guys that are in the pit lane already.
Well, actually, I think you'll find it's going to be Jan who leads the way because he's just got in front of Liam Stevens. So it is Jan, Liam, Sixten, and then it's going to be Riccardo Benzoni just in front of Tope and Angelo D'Asensio trying to go around the outside. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1 as someone's come a cropper. I think it's Gabriel Quintino.
Yeah, Gabriel Quintino. I don't think there's any damage on that Red Bull. Both end plates looking intact at the moment. Might have been tyres not necessarily getting up to temperature as quick as he would have liked, but he is facing the right way. And more importantly, he's within DRS range of Daniel and Felipe Souza that stand in front of him.
Angelo D'Asensio is right up behind Tope. He tried to go around the outside into the into the S section here in Japan, but didn't make it work out correctly. Riccardo Benzoni is now the leading medium tyre runner in 4th place. Is Sixten's job here to be a little bit of a blocker? He knows he's got 10 seconds. He knows the car in front of him may be an Alpine and maybe a TS driver. Does he just hold them up?
Well, I think that could be maybe some orders that we're seeing, but equally, if he can try and hold on to some points, you never know. A crash could take a few drivers out of this, or they can try and work together, pull away, use the DRS and the slipstream, almost like a peloton in cycling. But I think we'll find out that maybe that in a couple of laps' time. At the moment, it's not as evident as I think we're expecting it to be.
No, it certainly isn't, as it looks like Angelo trying to close in here on Tope again. Surely Riccardo Benzoni is going to get blitzed down the main straight. DRS and ERS going to be used. Riccardo Benzoni will try his best to defend. He can't defend forever, as Angelo is also up past him. And now the chase is on for the top 3. Tope, Angelo are chasing down Liam Stevens, Jan and Sixten Linhart.
Well, sometimes we see the alternate strategy start to pay dividends for our drivers. I think both of them have been fairly mixed and fairly average at the moment. I think the real benefit will come lap 26, 27, as that's when the medium tyres may start to fall off of their original pace. But Tope has reeled in this front 3, edging over that 1 second barrier, and more importantly, back within DRS range as we head in towards the hairpin.
Yeah, they certainly will. I mean, it's going to be close, isn't it? But they've already got DRS. Oh my goodness me. I don't know how long these hard riders are going to be able to hold on. We saw the mediums get absolutely rip them. But remember, TK, they only lasted about 10 laps.
That is going to be the interesting factor, how long the mediums going to be able to hold competitive pace.
Well, we're going to find out shortly, because Top 8 is right up behind the Alpine of Sixten Linhart. Of course, Sixten Linhart has a 10-second time penalty, so he is already effectively, well, fallen down to the back of the grid as it stands. But Top 8 right up behind him won't get the run on them because DRS is incredibly powerful, and Sixten should be able to hold on to Jan. But it may be actually a little bit easier than I'm thinking, because Top 8 is there. He's there. Is he closing in enough? He's going to use the slipstream. He's going to have to force his way around the outside. Sixten's going to hold his line. It's going to be brave. Is it going to be bold? Tope, you have not just pulled that off. And you know what, TK? He certainly has. Or hasn't he? Because Sixten's now fighting back. They go wheel to wheel into the S section. Oh, and it's almost ended in Tope's race. But somehow they have battled wheel to wheel and not ended up the wrong direction. Goodness me.
Incredible racing from the two drivers there, and very fortunate not to be facing the wrong direction. At the end of that, more contact between Tope and Sixten Linhart. There is an end plate missing for the Williams car, front right, my apologies, but he's still going to send it in towards the outside of the hairpin. Surely not round the outside for Tope. The medium tyres coming in dividends. Angelo D'Asensio fancies a move round the outside of this next corner as well. Surely we're not going to see a double place loss for Sixten Linhart here.
He's blocked in. He can't go anywhere else. There's only one where he could go, and he's backwards or off the circuit. Oh, and he comes on very aggressively there. Angelo's made it work. He knows there's a wounded Williams in front of him. He's got to chase him down and pick up the pieces, because it's Angelo's races to win at the moment. As Riccardo Benzoni is going to go down the inside of Sixten Linhart. Linhart's trying to hold on as best he can, but he's got nothing left, TK. But he dives down the inside into the Casio triangle and holds on to his position.
He does indeed. Got very, very fortunate. Tried to hold the position for Riccardo Benzoni. Tried to force him to as tighter inside line as he possibly could. Jan retakes the race lead away from Liam Stevens there, but it's incredibly close for this backpack. The quartet that have not let each other go since the minute they became attached. Sergio Sobrino P5. Benzoni has to settle for P6.
Sergio Sobrino blasting past both of them as they battle down the main straight. And Angelo is closing in. Luca now past Sixten Linhart as well. Linhart's starting to struggle on those harder set of tyres. They are really not working as well as he would have wanted. As Tope now closing in on Angelo again. But how is that front end plate affecting that Williams car?
Well, that's the question that he'll be asking himself. There's a lot of high-speed corners in this third sector. That's where he'll really start to feel the effects. Low speed is more mechanical grip. High speed is aerodynamical grip. And that is what Tope is lacking after that earlier contact with the car in front.
Yeah, it certainly does. It's not going to be easy here as Tope is closing in on Angelo here, trying to get into, what is third position. But Angelo, I think it's Angelo's race to lose, TK, if I'm perfectly honest with you.
I think you could be right here. The fresher tyres working to his favour, but I'm watching on board with Leo Lund, who's incredibly close to the back of Riccardo Benzoni. Wasn't close enough to make a move into 130R. He is going to go later on the brakes in towards the Casio triangle. Inside line, then outside line, then inside line again. He's pushed onto the grass by the Haas car and has to succeed the position. Luca Rapasso, though, is going to try and come around the outside, get the slipstream from the Haas car. Looks to go 3 wide into turn number 1. 3 becomes 2, and Leo Lund holds P6. Luca Rapasso P7, and Riccardo Benzoni fights for all his life, but can't do anything as he remains P8.
Goodness gracious me. That was pretty intense, that one. Pretty intense, but somehow they've all come out with it okay. There is some hard racing here, and we love to see hard racing, as long as it doesn't end in anything silly or stupid. But right now, TK, it's just on that limit, I'd say.
Absolutely right on that limit. Drivers are leaving as little space as they possibly can do. That's incredibly hard racing, but it's also fair racing. At the end of the day, they've left that car's width. They've just allowed the driver to stay on the track. If they've had to take the inside line, I mean, that sounds like a them problem.
It certainly does, as Angelo is right up at the back of Jan now. DRS is enabled. He will have a chance of getting past the Aston Martin driver, and surely with this slipstream, he may even be able to do it into 130R, but I think he's waiting. He's a smart racer. He knows what he needs to do, and can he make it work as Angelo is closing in into the Casio triangle. He's got a couple of corners to get this position and get the DRS zone if he gets a good exit, and he certainly does out of the Casio triangle, but he has an awful rear end and he can't get it stuck to the ground, and he might have to wait another day. Or is he going to close it enough? Because look at the closing speed. The closing speed is insane. He can't force it around the outside though.
Can't indeed. Still a battle going on further back. Leo Lund, Tope, Luca Rapasso and Sergio Sobrino all getting caught up in the mix of this fight. The front 3 have quickly become a front 7, but of course all the front 8 still involved, as Riccardo Benzoni still only half a second off the back of Sergio Sobrino in the kicked Sauber car. There's a car running wide there. I think that's going to be the Williams of Tope. Yeah, the car can't stick to the surface as much as he like. That front wing damage, I think, is starting to pay dividends for the driver.
Yeah, I think that front wing damage is going to be, well, tricky. It's going to be tricky to hold and tricky to deal with, unless, of course, they can, well, I mean, they're doing okay. In 4th place, that's not bad. That's still a top 4 finish. It just needs to be somehow dealt with from here on out. If he can hold on to 4th, then he deal with that result. But for Angelo, he's got to win this race. He's got to win this race.
Does indeed. He's got to be patient though. We're only on lap 22 of 23. We've still got 5 laps to go when we cross that timing beam this time around. They'll be counting them down on their hands. They know how much time is left in this Grand Prix. Angelo, look how close he is to the rear. Speaking of rear, Leo Lund sends one down the inside of the Casio triangle, trying to catch out a damaged Tope, but couldn't quite get the move made this time around. But the move now leads or pays attention to the front runners. Jan will be a sitting duck here, no DRS, as one driver goes left, one driver goes right, both of them swinging around the outside as Liam Stevens tries to take the race lead away from Angelo D'Ortenzio, but the driver on the medium tyre, on the lower fuel than the driver behind him, can now surely start to pull away from this alternate strategy.
And he's got to fly into the distance now. His challengers behind him are on old hard tyres, and his main challenger on the mediums is stuck with front wing damage. Angelo has driven his race fantastically at the moment, and all he's got to do now is bring it home in one piece.
Does indeed, but he's got to be careful not to get caught out if Liam Stevens is able to keep it within DRS range through the course of this lap. Burning a little bit of battery will help him in that scenario. Leo Lund now manages to dispatch Tope up to P4. That wounded Williams starting to fall ever further down this pack of cars. The Mercedes of Luca Rapassa now not standing on ceremony as he tries to go around the outside. Now has the inside line for the spoon curve. Pushes that Williams wide. And Sergio Sobrino has to slam on the brakes as he sees the Williams rejoining in the moment of madness.
Yep, well, he's somehow made it work. But yeah, Sergio probably wouldn't be entirely happy about that. But we can see how this one goes down as now Angelo, he's not exactly broken that away from that DRS, has he, TK?
He hasn't. If anything, he's maintained the gap between himself and Liam Stevens. Maybe he's calculated where he needs to be in his head, but I don't think this was in the plan at all. Liam Stevens closing at a rapid rate of knots in towards turn number 1. I think it's just enough, though, to keep Angelo D'Ortenzio in front of the Alpine and the Aston Martin, respectively. And Angelo D'Ortenzio with a better straight line speed on those medium tyres, and maybe a little bit more battery saved for the driver that leads.
Well, we're going to find out as the laps begin to close down. Of course, we will hopefully be able to get into these with the front three, but unfortunately, we don't seem to get them much. No guarantees of that one. They don't seem to get them much these days. I can understand that. It's not mandatory for the drivers to have interviews. I'm sure a lot of drivers in Formula One would like that as well, but unfortunately, that is not the rules. But are we going to see... Oh, that was late from Leo Lund. He's made it work, though. He's done it again, TK. He's done it again, and he's passed Jan into third.
Well, Leo Lund, call him Leo Lunge. The amount of times he'll send that car down the inside successfully or not. And this time around, it's paid absolutely beautifully for Leo Lund. He's up to P3. Podium spot secured as things stand. They want to try and chase down his VA teammate of Angelo D'Ortenzio, who still leads this race when we cross the line with 3 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, who's going to win this race? Hit your predictions in chat. I mean, it looks like a case closed for Angelo D'Ortenzio, but there's a very hungry and fast Leo Lund. And there's also a very fast Luca Rapassa, who's just gone around the outside of the Casio triangle.
Absolutely outstanding move from Luca Rapassa there. Who would have thought it? A move out the Casio triangle, not on this watch, but now it's 3 out of 4. Top 4 positions for the Veloce Academy. TES will have to be somewhat careful with their moves as Liam Stevens becomes somewhat stranded amongst a sea of sharks. The Alpine driver knows where he stands in both the race and the championship. And the question is, now does he attack Angelo D'Ortenzio in the lead, or does he try and defend from Leo Lund and Luca Rapassa that are rapidly chasing him down?
I mean, Liam has done a fantastic job on those medium tyres to even still be in with a chance of winning this Grand Prix. He's going to wait and wait his opportunity. I mean, at the moment, he's still in the hunt for the race win. But, as you mentioned, TK, the Sharks are circling the water. And as you say, they smell blood right this second because Liam is starting to struggle.
He certainly is. Those tyres, I think, are starting to give up on the Alpine. He will try and take them through the next 2.5 laps of this Grand Prix. The track is so unforgiving. With every twist and turn on this circuit, you have to try and hope that the tyres want to hold on, and simply one time they might turn around and say, no, I'm not giving you grip here, and that is where your race could catastrophically end.
Oh, I thought he was going to go around the outside. But he thought better of it. We're on to the penultimate lap, TK, of this Japanese Grand Prix. What a way to return for F2 before, unfortunately, we go on another 1-week break. But then, of course, we are back for a triple header to end off what has been a fantastic F2 season. As Liam Stevens is closing in, Liam might still have this one in the bag, TK. It's not out of the question, as Daniel also makes it up into P9. Can Liam Stevens, on the medium hard strategy, beat an alternate strategy Angelo D'Ortenzio? We're going to find out as we head on to lap 27 on the next couple of quarters.
Certainly are indeed. 1.5 laps to go in this Grand Prix. Liam Stevens has played a veteran's drive here this afternoon, defending from Leo Lund, Luca Rapassa, who are on the faster tyre behind him. He's stuck within the DRS range of the driver that stands in front of Angelo D'Ortenzio all throughout this race, all throughout this second stint, and that's what's really paid him dividends. He's been able to hold on, he's been able to charge his battery, and I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of electricity dumped on lap 27 and 27.
It certainly is. We are closing in, ladies and gentlemen. We get that little butterflies in your stomach because you have no idea what's about to happen. We're not even in the cockpits. We're sitting comfortably in our commentary booth. You are sitting comfortably at home. But I wonder who is going to win this one. Is it going to be Angelo? Is it going to be Liam? Is it going to be Leo? Is it going to be Luca? Or could it be Jan still if these four come together? We're going to find out now as we go through the Casio Triangle for the penultimate time to begin lap 27. Liam was so late on the brakes into the Casio to get a good exit. And here we go. The DRS is dumped. The ERS is dumped. And I think Liam Stevens has a chance here. Angelo can't do anything as Liam Stevens is going to take the lead of the Grand Prix into turn 1 on the last lap of the race. He now has just over a couple of corners to win this Grand Prix, but he always loses it on the S's, TK.
He does. That tyres are giving up on him. He's just got over 3 miles to contend with. This is going to be incredibly close racing, and as Martin Brundle said back in 2021 at Silverstone, these are critical corners in this Grand Prix. Liam Stevens has to do everything to try and keep Angelo, Leo and Luca behind him as we head in towards the hairpin for the 27th time in this race. Is it going to be a move around the outside by Angelo D'Ortenzio? No, he waits for his opportunity, and I have a feeling someone will be smelling blood as we head in towards Spoon Curve.
Spoon Curve may be the chance, or is it going to be 130R? But don't count out Leo Lund because he is right there as well. Who is going to take this opportunity? Who is going to take the Grand Prix win around the famous Suzuka circuit as we race up towards 130R for the final time? Liam already moving to the inside line. He's going to have to try and force them to the outside. Who's going to go for it? Angelo pulls to the left. He hasn't got the room. Leo tries to go around the outside, but it's dangerous. He couldn't make it work. Can Angelo dive? They're going to go 3 wide into the Casio Triangle. It's never going to work. And it certainly didn't. Liam holding on for dear life in the race lead. It's got a little bit messy as we go up towards the line. It's going to be a photo finish. And somehow Leo Lund has won the race by 15 thousandths of a second.
Wow, absolutely incredible. Who thought that was going to happen? Leo Lund, once again, call him Leo Lund, sent it down the inside of the Casio Triangle, held it when half his car was on the grass and the gravel, and fortunately, as they swung around the final corner, 15 thousandths of a second was all it required to take the win here this afternoon. Alex, as the chat is saying, absolute cinema.
Cinema. Angelo dropped from 2nd to 5th on that last corner.
Fastest lap was just picked up at the end, though.
Yeah, he was on the outside line of that corner.
Yeah.
He was on the outside, so he was in the worst position possible. Leo lunged it. He was in all right to make the move stick, but it was very late on the brakes. We're going to probably see what the stewards think about that. But personally for me, TK, that's what racing's all about.
I think you're absolutely right. And moving to the Casio Triangle, the last time of asking Liam Stevens, pushed him as wide as he could, but also gave that fair racing room. And that is the critical factor, in my opinion, as to what held it amongst itself. But as it shows on your screen there, Leo Lund wins from P5 on the grid. 15 thousandths of a second was all he needed to do so. Jan, Luca, Angelo, Riccardo, Sergio, top 8, Danny and Daniel rounding out your top 10. Keanu, Felipe, Sammy Simeone, Gabriel Quintino, Leonardo I've done it again. Leonardo and Sixten Lintart rounding out your finishers, and Sixten Lintart stealing fastest lap right at the end there.
I mean, that was mental on the last couple of corners. Absolutely mental. I don't know what to say about that one, but we have now... Actually, I've realised, Tiggy, there's only 2 rounds left. What I'm talking about, it's not 3 rounds.
Yeah, I was going to correct you, but we were kind of in a battle at the end there, and I was like, I'm not going to correct him, there's only 2 rounds left.
It's only 2 rounds left. My apologies, everyone. But I think that's going to be very interesting going to the final 2 rounds of the race. I don't know if we're going to have any interviews. I think people are a little bit hyped up after that end of that race. I will see if there's anyone around, but I'm not sure. See.
I have got breaking F2 news though, and this is a world exclusive.
I've just read that from. Is it from Tiers Korsman?
Tiers Korsman, the former F3 driver and reserve F2 driver, has announced that he won't be driving for the rest of this season due to an underlying arm condition.
Oh, it's an ACL. He's out for 6 to 7 months. So it was Leo. Who else was on the podium again?
Leo, Liam, and Tope, I think.
Hey, is it Tope?
No, it wasn't Tope. I've closed the game, which is rather unfortunate.
I can't remember. Chat, remind us.
Just tag all of them. Just say top 3. Just say top 3.
I don't know why I've capitalised top 3.
Me neither, realistically.
But hey, we've done it now.
Doesn't look like anyone's coming into chat though, which is a shame.
Well, it is a shame. But should we go over the final 2 rounds of the season?
Let's do it. I have the calendar.
We're here. You have the calendar. So, of course, we have had our festive break. But, of course, it may not say it on the calendar, ladies and gentlemen. We do have a week's break coming up now. Don't
I
we,
wonder
TK?
why.
I wonder why. It could be any reason. It could be any reason indeed, ladies and gentlemen. It may have something to do with F1. Spoilers. Spoilers. But we now then have 2 rounds left of the season. Las Vegas, Under the Lights of Vegas, and Bahrain. Well,
Gonna be incredible.
I mean, Bahrain's normally the opener.
It is.
And Las Vegas is normally the closer. Should we have a quick look at the standings? I know we can't really work it out. It's not been put up automatically, but we can try and work out who's picked up some points going into that race. Angelo D'Asensio could have won that Grand Prix and cemented himself top of the standings. I believe he still is, but it's a lot closer than he would have liked. And Luca Rapassa has closed in a little bit, but not enough really. And I think everyone else is kind of out of the standings. So I think it's going to be going into the final 2 rounds, Ricciardo and Angelo for the world title.
It's going to be incredibly close. And I think we aren't going to see a champion crown in Vegas, which would have been lovely to see. But alas, no. I think we are going to head to the Kingdom of Bahrain for that battle.
We certainly are. But of course, this is not the end for us. We will be back within a couple of weeks, back on Thursday at 8 p.m. for the final 2 rounds of season 38. Now, of course, if you are, wanting more PSGL action, you can find us at all of our socials at Premier Sim GL on social media. So, of course, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and of course Twitch, where you may be watching now. Of course, you can join the Discord as well, and you can get involved in the conversation and find out about season 39, which I'm sure will be coming very shortly after season 38. World exclusive there. We may have a season 39 in PSGL.
Everything's cancelled. No more races.
That's it.
We all go home.
Cancelled it now. We all go home. But anyway, yeah, we will be back next week at 8 p.m. on Thursday for some more.
Week after.
We're back in 2 weeks' time for some more PSGL action with myself and TK. Thank you, TK, for joining me.
My pleasure as always, Alex, and I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time.
In 2 weeks' time. Specifically 2 weeks' time. But until then, we'll see you then. Goodbye.